Hello, family. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are all doing well. We thank God for such a grace. Thank you for such a space. We are back here. This is Masimoli. Kindly, if you are new here, subscribe, like, comment, and share. We are talking, yes, let us talk. And we are talking about, relationships here. Coming together in the space that we are in. Relationships. We are most welcome. Kindly. And we thank God. Now, the question is here. Who is the voice in that space? Who is the voice in that relationship? Who is the voice in that family? Who is the voice in that society? Who is the voice in that community? Who is the voice in that place of work? Apart from the boss that you have, there is a voice, someone who comes in when there are challenges, when there are conflicts, when there are rancors. Who is the voice? Let us put it in a family setup. Somebody is here, and you have not even. That is why. Let me say this. That is why we need even to maybe write a will. We need to write a will. We need to write to come up and bring your people together and to make things clear. Who is to be who? What is to belong to who? And each one will fit in the space. You as the authority. Let's talk, for example, a man who has his property, or a man with a family, and maybe, okay, and this man has children. It is good for this man to become the voice and even give the voice, speak when it is the right time. Not to wait for the problems, or you keep quiet until there are problems. Please speak and make things clear. Who is to become who and what is to be what? Let us look at in the book of 1 Kings chapter 1, verse here. We are talking about King David. Look here. King David has become old and he needs someone to succeed him. Someone to become a king in his place because he's becoming old. Then one of the sons, David, let me say this. David had already said, they had already talked about it with Bathsheba, without witnesses, without another person listening to it. And David promised Bathsheba that your son Solomon will become the king. Now, look at this. And then they stay. That is what Bathsheba knows. And maybe David never shared it with anybody else. And it happens that Adonijah now takes over. Adonijah can see the father is becoming old. And now there must be somebody who's supposed to replace. And maybe Adonijah is one of the elders because his brother had died. Now he's there, he feels of course, and obviously is the one to become the king. Because David has not said what is in his heart. You see, now Adonijah does it, and Adonijah takes over and takes the guests, and people come and he prepares a feast and he's celebrating because he has already made himself a king. Now, look at this. There are so many people who are doing it even in family scenarios. Some people are taking over the inheritance even before the father does it. Others are even taking over even before the parents die. They have already taken for themselves what belonged to the parents. They have already taken and they have already given themselves the inheritance. But why is it happening? It is just because maybe the parents are quiet. The parents are not even saying anything. The authority is not saying anything. Even in society scenario, we are supposed to know who is who, and the authority should speak always and remind people who is to become who and who is who. We should know, and there should be a voice where there are rankles. Who solves a problem when there's a problem in that society? All things just happen. We must have an elder. We must have somebody to come in and solve a problem in a society, in a ministry, in the family scenario, in the place of work. Who is the voice? People are going through a lot, and we need, and it cannot work when everybody is just doing things on his own, on their own. It cannot work. Let us go to First Kings chapter 1. 1 Kings chapter 1, let me just open kindly. 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 11. We start from verse 11. Verse 11, it says, Now, Adonijah has taken over. Bathsheba in her mind knows that immediately the king dies, the son, because she was already promised, the son Solomon is going to become the king. Then Nathan comes. Look, then Nathan went to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, and asked her, haven't you heard that Agith's son, Agith is another wife to David, Agith's son, Adonijah, has made himself king? And King David doesn't know anything about it. It is not yet time. Adonijah has already done it. Adonijah has already made herself a king. And it is not yet time. There are people who do it. They don't even wait. According to me, there are people who really bring problems in families. And they will cause rancors and conflicts. And they will bring fight. You can imagine a family, a man who has his own property and he has sons. And one of the sons just decides to take over. He will just go and take a property and start changing the names even without anybody knowing. The father does not even know. He maneuvers his ways and he wants to take that land. He wants to take the plot. He wants to take the father's house. He wants to take everything that belongs to the father. Do you know Adonijah even wanted to take even Abishag, the father's wife? We shall talk about it. Look, Adonijah wants to take over. And Adonijah has invited people to celebrate. And even without inviting the brothers, inviting even Solomon. No one was, even Nathan, the priest and the prophets were not invited. He has invited other people and they have already anointed him without the father's knowledge. How many people have done that? How many people have taken over? In the ministry, it is like you are overlooking other people. You have taken over. In whatever thing that is done in the society, you have taken over, you have taken other people, you are overlooking other people. You want to do things and you are overlooking them. You are overlooking your brothers, your siblings. You want to take everything that belongs to your father, inheriting your father. Look, let us go to verse 20. Now, Bathsheba now goes to the king, wondering. He says, Your Majesty, all the people of Israel are looking to you to tell them who is to succeed you as a king. The king is needed to have a voice. The king is needed to lift up his voice and speak now. Say, it is coming from you. Yes, you told me as your wife Bathsheba. They shared the two of them, but they never told another person. Bathsheba and King David were speaking maybe when they were just in the house. And David promises Bathsheba, your son is going to become the king. And imagine David just stays like that without telling any other person. And Adonijah does it because he feels he has the right to become one. As one of the sons there. Then now, he has done it. Adonijah runs and tells the king, look, hey, can you get up and speak? Say it to yourself. You told me yes, but if I say it, nobody's going to believe me. Of course, when if Bathsheba now gets up and starts talking as the wife, nobody will believe because people will think that he wants the son to become. The king did not say it. No, it is you who wants your son to become the king. The king did not say it. David did not say it. It is you who is coming up with it. Then Bathsheba says it. Now, please, have a voice. Have a voice and say it. Say it. Come on and say it. Say that. Who is to become the king? Then what happens? Verse 27, what happens in verse 27? Did your majesty approve all this and not even tell your officials who is to succeed you as king? They are wondering, when King David said it and he never told anybody. He has already appointed a king and he never told us. And he had already promised me that he's going to become, my son is going to become the king. Please just get up and say it. Please just get up and speak a word. What does 29 say? 29 says, then he said to her, I promise you by the living Lord, who has rescued me from all my troubles, that today I'm going to keep my promise. Yes, I told you that your son is going to become the king, and today I'm going to keep the promise. I'm going to make your son the king. But they are worried. Adonijah has already done it. And the king was just remaining quiet there, remaining silent without saying anything. And they are worried. And then he says, I'm going to keep the promise. What does it say in verse 30? That today I'll keep my promise. 32, it says, then King David sent Zadok, Nathan, and Benaiah. When they came in, he said, take my court officials with you. Have my son Solomon ride my own mule and escort him down to Gion, where Zadok and Nathan are to anoint him and as king of Israel. Then blow the trumpet and shout, long live King Solomon. He has given orders to Zadok and the others to come and anoint Solomon as our king. He has given orders Yes, he has given orders now. He has spoken, and he has made witnesses. He has made Zadok and Nathan as Zadok, Nathan, and Benaiah he has made them the witnesses, and he has told them to go and anoint his son Solomon. Look, things have happened. If you look at the 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 1, we see a widow. The husband was there. That widow, the husband had debts and had not told the widow that he had debts, and the husband dies. What happens to the people that the husband has taken their things from? They come and take the sons of the widow to sell, to take them as slaves. And then the widow goes to prophet. Look at this. To prophet Elisha, and tells Elisha, they have my husband died with debts, and they are taking my sons as slaves now. What am I supposed to do? You read there and see from chapter 4 from verse 1 to around 4. Then Elisha tells the woman, what do you want me to do to you? The woman tells him, you must do something to me, because they are going to take my sons as slaves. And then Elisha gives the woman a solution, tells the woman to bring the jerrycans. Elisha now takes the jerrycans, fills the jerrycans with oil, and then he tells the woman to go and set the oil and pay the debts. People are dying without the wills. People are dying without telling what is there to the family, what is there. Even things that family don't know, they will know when they have already died. They will know when things have already happened, not even necessarily dying. People, they will know that there's a problem, and there's a challenge now comes, and we end up getting stressed. The family ends up getting stressed. You can imagine what Bathsheba was going through. Now, if Bathsheba went to people and tell people, the king told me that my son is going to become the king, nobody would have believed Bathsheba. David is the one to come and speak and say, I want King Solomon, and the voice is to be believed. May we have a voice that is to speak and settle conflicts, settle wrangles in families, that you are not going to remain silent, you as an authority. And be open to your family. Don't just remain silent. If there is something that you have done, if you have property somewhere, let your people know. If you have debt somewhere, let your people know. Do not leave your people with problems. You can imagine this widow of one of the prophets, the widow of one of the prophets having a problem, and the prophet dies, and the widow is left with problems. Now working all over, and the man has died. Let us not leave our families with problems. Let us not cause problems to our family. Let us come out. Let us be open. Let us not be there and keep into ourselves with the challenge. I mean, with whatever thing that we have. There are some families who don't even know whatever their spouses have, the properties that their spouses have. There are some people who don't even know what their people have, their families have, and they are there. Nobody's to tell them. Kindly, let us come out and be open. Just bring everything on the table. What do you want? Give us the spaces. Give the family members. If you have children, tell your children, this is what belongs to you. This is what you should have. Rather than having these children fight at the end of it all. People have fought. Let us have wills. Let us have, not necessarily a will. Call people. Have witnesses. Give whatever you have to your children equally. Instead of you waiting for the children to start fighting for the land, fighting for the plots and all that. Let them, you talk, have a voice. So you stand at the man in authority. Stand at the woman as the woman in authority, and talk to your people. Give them what they should have. Tell them how they should live when you are not there. Stand there and don't wait for the conflicts. And don't leave your people with problems. This widow was left with problems. The widow is not the one who had the debt, but the husband had the debt. And people are coming now to take the sons as slaves. Look at this. Until the widow went to look for a solution from Prophet Elisha. And Elisha gave her the solution. Don't leave your people with problems, please. Say what you have, where. If there are debts, talk. If they are what you have, and then you just divide whatever you have accordingly. Give whatever you have to the person that you feel that they deserve, and we are going to live in peace. May God bless us. Thank you so much. This is Mercy Muli. Kindly subscribe, like, and comment. We shall continue from there about having a voice in our family. Thank you. Be blessed.